Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Woolcast. I'm your host, Craig, and joining me this week, I've got Gav, Ian, and Grizz. Lads, there hasn't been too much happen over the past week, but something that caught my eye was the rule changes that have been muted to happen in football, and I sent you guys the agenda with a list of a couple of things that are being mentioned to be brought into the game, and I thought we could go through them one by one and tell everybody what we thought of them. The first one is the International Football Association has put forward a few changes to the laws of the game. The first one that pops up is that the game would have 60 minutes of actual playing time, so the clock would be stopped every time the ball isn't in play. So therefore we're going to have two 30-minute halves, so there'll be no time wasting, there'll be none of this rolling around. When the ball's not in motion, the clock's stopped. Gav, what do you think of that?
It's a bit strange, isn't it? 60 minutes of actual playing time. So basically what they're saying is they're getting 60 minutes of playing time probably at the moment.
I think 62 minutes is the average, something like that.
Yeah, so they're getting 60 minutes as it is, and it's over 90 minutes because of ball going out of play, different stoppages. So I don't see where they're coming from with that really. I can't see that one working. You know, it's a 90-minute game. Like, you know, you're going to get to the stage where you're not going to call it football anymore. They literally want to change everything, but no, it's a 90-minute game, and if the ball's out of play and a referee adds on injury time, and if you're still walking out with 62 minutes of actual play, I don't see where they're going with that. I really don't.
So that's a big dirty no for you then, definitely, yeah.
Absolutely, but you see, I just have to caveat this with, I'm against all of this, no matter what you come up with. I'm going to be against most of them, if not all of them, because
I think there might be one or two that you might think are okay.
I don't know, because I'm kind of, look, it's a 90-minute game, two 45-minute halves. I like the goal line technology thing, but after that, I'm not mad on the rest of them. But we'll see what happens. Go on, keep going.
Ian, mate, what's your thoughts on this? Two 30-minute halves.
It's going to be a fun pod, innit? With me and Gav both agreeing on everything. To be honest, mate, out of some of the rule changes that they've proposed, this is probably the least ridiculous. But I mean, what did you say the average was?
Around 62 minutes, I think. Now, I could be correct on that. I'm sure that's something I've read somewhere.
Yeah, I don't really. Of all the problems that there may be in the game at the minute, I don't think the actual length of the game is one of them. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know why they're trying to move it around. It sounds like they're trying to go a bit like American football when you know what I mean, when they play in between certain plays, the clock doesn't move. Fuck all that.
Another thing, actually, I should probably add into this. I haven't got it on the list, but it's kind of related to this. Is that a game won't be stopped as well until the ball goes out of play, i.e., like rugby style.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
No, that's.
You could have a game that goes on for theoretically goes on for 138 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Just non-stop. It's ridiculous.
Grizz?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to have to make it an awesome. Unless, I mean, not unless. There's no unless. Are they proposing to have adverts like that American football?
Yeah, I think
because if they're doing it to make more money, which it seems the only reason they change.
I don't think that's the thought behind it. I think it is that if the ball goes out of play, the clock stops. So it doesn't matter how long we take it to take the throw in or the corner or rolling around on a free kick or an injury. The clock is stopped. So technically, the injury time there is none. I think that's more where they're going with it, because I can't see how they could squeeze ads in. Although I suppose if someone's down on the ground getting treated, they probably could.
Well, I'm a traditionalist. I'm proper old, and the game. All that drama with the throw-ins and the corners and the acting. That just adds to the drama and the play, the mystery. That's it's part and parcel of the beautiful game that we've known it. I mean, this rule. I mean, I know Ian said this is the least weirdest. I don't know. I find this the most weirdest. If we're just gonna stop the clock every time the ball goes out of play, and just the clock stops as well. As you said, the game's gonna actually, or the actual whole the whole sort of performance will be probably, you're right, up to 2 hours. So instead of shortening it, they're going to be making it very boring. I think it'll put a lot of people off
Do you think it would make it boring though? Because what they're trying to do is guarantee a certain amount of playing time for the fans, I suppose, and for the teams themselves to make sure that.
Yeah, but
Go on, Gav.
they're getting it anyway.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm just trying to give it.
You know, look at it this way, right? If they're getting an average of 60 minutes as it is, okay, basically over 90 minutes you're getting 60 minutes of play. So with this thing now, they're going to stop the ball or stop the clock when the ball goes out. So when that timer goes down to 0 and that match starts at 3 o'clock, it's still going to finish at 4:45.
It's still going to be 60 minutes of play.
You know, it's just, to me, like, the way they're going to end up with, I agree. I think there's going to be ads. I think every time that ball goes out, an ad is going to flash up across your screen. And they're nearly going to try to get rid of referees as well. Because
we're going to have the World Series soon as well.
But like, if the referee isn't totting up the injury time, okay, and all this other technology they want to bring in the game, they're changing it. They're Americanizing these things now at this stage, you know, and it's not an American sport. It's as simple as that.
Well, when they use
football, and there's certain rules to football that should be kept, and this is definitely one of them. It's a 90-minute game.
Wait, hang on, Grizz wants to come in.
Well, no, I was going to say, let's cut to the chase. Who's actually done some research on this topic and subject? Why? Because usually they've got a think tank behind this sort of proposal that suggests what is the reason for it. So what is the reason? What's the thinking behind it? Anybody know?
No, there's just a body that was...
We're struggling.
There was
three of us.
There was an association that was set up, a board that was set up to try and think of ways to improve the game. So basically their whole job is to sit there and fucking come up with ways that they think could improve the game. It's fucking odd.
Well, that's not a good start, is it?
Hang on.
How many games between us four do you think we've seen over the years?
How many what?
1,000. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And how many times after the game's finished have we said, you know what I mean? That should have been an extra 4 minutes long. Now, we were robbed 4 minutes. It very rarely comes up. Do you know what I mean? It just is what it is, isn't it?
Right. Well, then we'll put that one down as a big fat no. And we'll move on to number 2 on the list. So, right, this one is in regards to back passes. So, you know, the way it stands now is a keeper picks up a back pass, it's a free kick. Well, the one they're hoping to bring in now is a penalty rather than a free kick.
How many times have you ever seen a keeper pick up a back pass?
I think twice since it's ever come in.
And when I say, you know, would you say over them 2 times that you've seen it, they were deliberate back pass and a keeper picked it up, or a keeper picks it up and it's debatable and the referee calls it a back pass?
It could have been either or, to be fair. As you're saying, there's no blatant keepers picking the ball up all the time. That's why I think they're trying to make it so harsh if it does happen.
So they've thought up this rule that could happen once every 5 years.
Yeah, but I suppose to be fair to them, they have to take into account for these grey areas as well. That might happen once in the blue moon.
Yeah, but you have to remember, I think it was the early 90s that they brought in this rule that when the ball is passed back, the keeper cannot pick it up. It speeds up the game, this, that, and the other, okay?
And that made sense.
And that made sense, yeah. People kicked and screamed about it at the time, but it actually does make sense. Keepers have to be better with their feet. It quickens up the game so you can't literally pass back and forth between defenders and goalkeepers and drag out as much time as they want. And now they're changing their own rule again, and it's a penalty. Like, it sounds to me like there's people in a room, you're right, a think tank in a room, and they have nothing better to be doing. And that's their job, and they just can throw out all this random stuff. Like, just leave it as an indirect free kick.
You just have a vision of these lads sitting there with a bag of cans, a load of tapes, and unlimited.
There's no way they have a bag of cans, because if they had a bag of cans, there'd be some funny stuff they could come up with, you know.
I have to say, lads, I haven't got into it yet, but I like the next one. But I'll hang off to see what Ian has to say on this one.
The only way I'd give a penalty for deliberate handball for the keeper or a back pass is if it was like a goal line. You know, like say someone passed it back like on the half volley and the keeper dived and made a full length save out the top corner or something. You know, where it was a definite goal. Maybe then I'd give a penalty. Do you know what I mean? But for like I don't remember the last time I keep like Gav just said the last time a keeper picked up a back pass. I think Mignolet done it once, but he's a fucking ass clown, isn't he?
Did he do it, or was that he held onto the ball too long?
No, that was in Europe. He held on to the ball for 22 seconds.
And the cunts fucking scored as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they scored. It was against was it Bordeaux?
Oh, fuck knows. I remember him doing it.
It was a French team.
He was doing it. He was known for doing it, wasn't he? He still does it now, but not as much. Like, but that's the only way I'd give a pen if it was like a. But when's the last time you seen someone half volley a back pass into the top corner? Or it's I just don't understand where they're coming from with these. Like, it's weird.
No, we do have to remember that this is to do with like FIFA, so any shit could happen. Literally, they're just away.
It's obviously a smoke screen for all the money they're robbing.
Yeah,
send a load of them out, and we'll all talk about these while we get another load of money in. That's basically what they're doing.
They're probably setting up these committees and think tanks so they can pay themselves an extra fee for doing something else.
It's obviously a decoy, you know.
Gav, get the emails, man. Let's get this job. Us three.
Look, if I had that job, I'd be in it about 3 hours. I'd just walk in and go, listen, everything's grand, lads. Close it up on the way out.
Not if you're on a fucking daily rate, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't work for them pricks anyway.
So Grizz, are you a no on this one as well?
I mean, Ian did sort of get me thinking with the, like, for example, the back pass goes to the keeper and he sort of, let's just say, we'll have to use Mignolet as an example, and it goes under his leg and it's like trickling towards the goal, kind of, and he just stops it in that scenario. That's a sending off, but again, how fucking rare is that? You know, it's again, you know, we can't. Do we see it in every game? No. Is it? Do we actually? When have we ever or discussed anything like this? Hardly ever. So I think it's a no-goer as well for me.
Okay, no problem. The next one, lads, I have to say, blatantly, I'm for this before I say it. So Grizz, I'll come to you first on this one, but the next one is a penalty goal for handling the ball on the line.
Well, thank God for this think tank finally or something, because that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
because it is unfair,
and I think we just have to look at Suarez as the prime example.
Yeah, but again it will come down to the referee thinking if it was intentional or not.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, if he was going to give a penalty, then it's a goal,
right? So intention doesn't matter. If it's a handball,
if it would have been a handball that the ref would have given a penalty for, I'd say. But he has to be on the goal line, so he has to be last man, I think.
Yeah, last man. So again, we got to judge the pace of the ball. Will it reach the goal? You know, look at certain angles. Is it going towards? It is still vague. It's not as blatant, yes, from me, because it's still vague. You know, for example, a loopy header. Do we know it would have reached the goal? You know, the guys handled it. Yeah, again, you're right. You're saying it's got to be right on the goal line. So it's not like in the way of the goal.
No, it does specify goal line.
Yeah, then that makes sense. Then it's a thumbs up finally. Because you're right. You could have, like, you know, a penalty, and then the guy misses the penalty.
Well, didn't it happen to, was it South Africa or Ghana? Ghana, wasn't it, against Uruguay?
Ghana was, yeah.
Yeah, and you missed the penalty and there's no justice. You start singing that song, don't you? Was there a song?
I'm sure we can make one up.
We'll form a think tank. Right, so Ian, where do you stand on this brilliant idea?
It's not the worst idea. Do you know what I mean? I quite like them to go a step further with this one though, and they give the opposition the choice of like a red card or a goal. Do you know what I mean? So that could be quite interesting.
Should be both, surely.
No, if it's in the last minute or something.
Well, yeah, if it's in time would determine most decisions, wouldn't it? But if it was in the 3rd minute and you need to win by 4 goals, maybe you might fancy a chance to play against 10 men.
Yeah, that's where that whole retrospective ban thing pisses me off, by the way, lads. So, you know, the ref misses something that gets pulled up on camera and the player gets banned for the next game. What fucking use is that to the team that he was just playing against that don't benefit from that in any way, shape or form?
Can you imagine if that affects the team adversely. So let's say he misses the next game. Let's say Suarez misses the next game for Liverpool, right? And he done it against Palace, who are relegation battle, and then they're playing West Brom the next game, and they're rooting for Suarez to score goals against West Brom, but he's banned because of the incident. So yeah, that's a bollocks one.
Gav, where are you on this penalty goal line?
Well, you're given a penalty for a keeper handling the ball. All right, that's the last one we spoke
No one's
about.
allowed handle it anymore. That's the way this is looking.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, so are they proposing that if the player is on the line and you shoot at the goal, it's going in the goal, he puts his hand out, right? A la Phil Neville in the derby 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was. Is he sent off as well?
It doesn't state. It just says a penalty goal for handling the ball on the line. I think, again, that's a decision for the ref.
Well, how is it a decision for a ref? Because if he gives a penalty goal,
I'd imagine
he
it's
has
a red
to send
card.
the player off.
I'd imagine he would. But even if you get a penalty, I'd say it'd still be the same situation for a blatant handball on the line, wouldn't it?
But that's the thing they're talking about.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, but you see, hold on. If there's a shot taken, and as it stands, a shot is taken at the goal, a defender deliberately handles the ball.
On the
He's
line.
sent off.
On the
He's
line.
sent off. Yeah, on the line. It happened this season, or the season just gone, Coutinho against Hull, right? And the guy is on the line, it hits him in the arm. He does it intentionally. He's sent off, and Liverpool are given a penalty.
Right.
Right. So now what they're going to do is they're just going to send him off and give the goal.
Correct.
Okay, so they're punishing you twice for the one offence.
No, they're punishing you for cheating.
No, but they're punishing you twice for the one offence.
Yeah, but it's not offence as such, it's cheating.
But they punish you twice for it anyway. Like, the penalty is a punishment.
No, the penalty is a punishment, but you still have a chance.
Yeah.
So now they're saying, we're going to give the goal against you and send your player off. Like, it's pie in the sky stuff.
It's blatant cheating, though. It's blatant cheating.
Though, Gav.
There's no doubt it's blatant cheating.
So you should be punished twice.
So you've got to be punished twice. Yeah, if you're
driving,
deliberately stop to go, it's promoting, no cheating.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is you're punishing the player by sending them off, and then you're punishing the team. The team didn't commit the offence. He did.
But he's part of the team, so tough shit.
Yeah, I know he's part of the team, but why can't he just leave it as it is? Send the player off, and it's a penalty because he's committed a foul in the box. Because
there's been occasions like the Ghana situation where what would have been a blatant goal, yeah, he misses the penalty, and then a Uruguay are in the semis or the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Okay, so what happens if a player goes through on goal, rounds the keeper, he's 3 yards from goal, about to tap it in the goal, a fella comes in from behind him, takes the legs from him, the ball ends up stopping dead on the line. Do you send him off and give a penalty goal? This isn't about that, though. This is just about handling the ball on the line. Yeah, but that's the exact same cheating as handling the ball on the line. But if you intentionally do somebody from behind. We're just discussing what's being proposed. Yeah, well, it's all bullshit anyway. They've made rules, and now they've nothing else to do, so they're just adding themselves another rule. They're just updating their latest rule. It's madness. And I don't know. Maybe I am too traditionalist about football, but it's just getting stupid now. There's rules coming out of everywhere, and they want to do this and the other. Van Basten was at it a couple of months ago, wasn't he?
Gav, do you know when you played football when you was young, right? Right. So if you about to score and someone would just handball it, would you not want to smack him in the head?
Yeah, no, I would want to smack. Well, look,
tell me how you felt. Go back 20, 30 years.
I'd be just thinking. I'd be just be careful now.
It's the worst kind because you'd say, "Oh, I want to kill you," right? You didn't want to say, get off the pitch and have a penalty, like, let's get on with the game. You wanted to throttle that person for cheating, for doing, depriving you of your only goal.
Yeah, but he's cheated. Yeah, I understand that, but he's cheated and he's being punished for cheating. And the box is there for a reason. The reason the box is there is if you make an indiscretion in the box, you're given a penalty against you.
Penalty goal is. That would have been a goal, Gav. On the goal line, it's a goal. You're talking about professional fouls. We don't know the outcome of that. We're talking about this was on the goal. The goal, if your hand isn't there, is a goal.
Yeah, no, I get your, I get your point, but like, I just feel that you're bringing in rules like this, and how far does it go? Like, do we start? If a guy, if a chap shoots, are they going to go as far then as if a guy shoots and there's a fella standing on the 6 yard line and it hits him, and are they going to go to a video referee then and go, oh well, if he didn't handle that, it was definitely going in, he's off as well, penalty goal? Like you're only, this is only part of a progression, in my opinion. It's going to progress to even more
You're gonna
weird
fucking love
things,
the next one.
It's a no forever, I think.
No, it's definitely a no. Like I said at the start, these rules are madness.
I think this is a fair rule. Of all the ones,
Yeah.
I can understand the first two, but this one for me makes sense.
Go on, Ian. Casting vote.
Like I say, mate, just give the opposition the choice. Do they want the goal or do they want the man off? Do you know what I mean?
Confused it even more.
Yeah, but they're sending the man off. They're sending them off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if
he's saying give a choice,
give them a choice,
right? So is the choice then?
Lads, I think we have to just argue over what's being put forward here, and the only line that's been put forward is a penalty goal for handing the ball on the line. So we're gonna have to just ignore the red card side of it. Yeah,
so we don't. So basically, what you're saying is this rule is being put forward, and they haven't taught anything around the rest of it.
Not on the few lines I robbed from Sky Sports News, anyway. No.
No. So basically, what they said is, we give a penalty goal, and then we'll think something else up in 6 months, and we'll add that in as well.
Maybe your man has to do 50 press ups, and if he only does 49, then he gets sent off.
No, but but like Ian said, you could make sense of it where you say, right, look, he's handled it on the line, so here's your choice: penalty goal, and he stays on the pitch. Yeah, okay, or a red card and a penalty.
I get that.
But I don't know. Look, people will agree with it. I don't.
Penalty goal, and you get to give him a punch.
But that's not going to happen.
But it'll make Grizz feel better, wouldn't it, Grizz?
No, I want to smash his head in. It's my goal.
So, Ian, was that a yes or a no?
I'd go yeah. But do you know what? They've just sold the rights to this game to Sky or whoever it was for not this game, sorry, the game in general for I don't know, billions and billions of pounds. It's going up every year. So the product is flourishing. So why move the rules? Why change the rules when the thing they've just bought for I don't know, £10 billion or whatever, it's clearly in a good state, isn't it? So
why risk it?
Why fuck about with stuff? The people who watch it are happy with it how it is.
Right, lads, we'll push on because we've a lot to cover. So the next one up, and look, I think this is ridiculous as well, is that players can dribble from free kicks and corners. So basically, you can the ball's put down, your free kick, you can start running with it. Corner, you can start running with it.
So what's the point of the corners being there?
You still have the choice. I mean, if you still want to put a dead ball piece into the box, fair enough. But if you want to try a sneaky, no one's looking, and you want to run out and dribble the ball, it's happened a few times where the dodgy sly ones where they pretend to hit it and just.
Now I can see if you're a short team, Gav, if you're not West Brom, yeah, and let's say you're an Arsenal or Barcelona, a team of short players, look, when you get a corner, it's supposed to be advantage to the attacking team, right, or a set piece, right? It's supposed to be to your advantage, yeah. Mm-hmm. The other team is being penalised, right?
Well, a free kick now, not a corner. Corner's not. No one's penalised there.
Okay, but it's supposed to be advantage the attacking team. You're in their half. It's a chance for you to score, sort of, an attacking position. So this is just for corners or all set pieces.
All set pieces. So free kick. So if you get a free kick 25 yards out and you want to take a quick kick and run with it.
Yeah. So if you get a free kick, how many times have we seen where people just fucking annoyingly stand in front of the ball, whatever, and you can't move, you can't carry on the play, the advantage is lost. So I could see this if they sort of, I could see this making sense to certain teams, to teams that don't want to just lump it in there because they think, for example, we're shit at set pieces, right? In both boxes. So we'd think, right, if we just let Coutinho run from there with the ball, we've got more chance of scoring than sort of lumping in there like a West Brom who'd prefer the old rule and just sort of get 6-7 6-footers in the box, and that's their chance of scoring. So
Yeah, but
I can see it.
I can see
Grizz.
Chelsea players just fucking sticking the ball up their jumper till the ref comes and not letting anybody go anywhere.
yeah, but Grizz, like, I'm not being funny with you, but the option to dribble from a corner is there already. Because all you need to do is you send two men over. All opposition players have to be 10 yards away, and you touch it to him, and he dribbles with it.
No, I agree. I think it's more for free kicks.
But there'd be absolute mayhem of free kicks, and like you said, a player gets taken down, okay, yeah, and a player stands in front of the ball and stuff like that. That's just going to continue. So what happens is, player A runs through, gets taken down by player B, okay. Player C comes along and decides, well, I'm not going to wait to set this up. I'm going to go running with it. So player B is standing right beside the incident and can just tackle him straight away. The logistics of it doesn't sound right to me.
Where I think the problem's going to come in with this is there probably will be some situations where teams are sleeping and you can get away with it, but I don't think they'll let it be that straightforward. I think the ref will still want to set the fucking wall and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then it's just no point of it at all.
Yeah, no, no, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm trying to vision this working, and if I'm a defender,
do any
okay,
of you watch Australian rules football?
Yeah, but that's a mark, isn't it?
Is it something like that? Similar?
Yeah, but you see, you have to remember that means then that if a player gets fouled, the ref is going to have to still count out the 10 yards, and then he can dribble with it. So the defense is set.
Yeah,
Not the kind of way. You know what I mean? So to me, if I'm a defender, I'm looking going, right, I'm going to take him down. And when I take him down, all my teammates are going to know, get close to this fella because he may dribble with it, and you can take it off him.
It's the team with the nastiest cunts that win.
I think what might happen here is it would only benefit maybe around the halfway line and stuff. If you're taken down and you get up really quickly yourself and you want to just carry on with it. But I can't see the ref letting that happen on 20 yards out, letting you take a free kick like that and just walking through on goal.
And what happens if it's a bad tackle and the ref wants to give a yellow card? Does he have to know it and then wait for this dribbling to go on and everything else to come back to it?
Again, I don't know. I'd imagine so, but...
Again, very vague, isn't it? It's like, you know, you're not going to get me to agree to any of this because it does me head in when these people turn up every couple of months with stupid stuff.
So that's a no. A no for you, Gav, yeah?
That's a no for me again, yeah.
Okay, the next one is pretty similar, lads, so I suppose I'll get your opinion, and it's just the ball doesn't need to be stationary. The ball doesn't need to be stationary. I kind of gathered it was a no from everybody, but the only reason I'm going on to this one is because they're very similar. That the ball doesn't need to be stationary for a set piece.
Go on, Ian. Go in.
I mean, if it's just like slightly rolling, do you know what I mean? The way you see it sometimes, and the keeper, like, it's just about to stop, but they spray it wide or they do whatever, then I could understand that. But if it's by stationary, I mean, what's the yardage? Like, is the ball allowed to go like 6 or 7 yards and you just carry on? I don't know. There'd have to be a lot of... and I just think it's opening the game for loads more arguments that aren't necessary. Do you know what I mean? It's just...
I can see fucking, again, going back to Chelsea because I just think of them as cheating cunts. I can just see Chelsea walking up and bouncing the ball or something, someone catching it in the volley or something. Just doing something mad that completely wasn't thought of in the rules, but if the ball doesn't have to be still, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the maddest rule change they've suggested, but that doesn't say a lot really. But again, I don't think the game it isn't that much of a need for us to tackle, move, and set pieces. Do you know what I mean? But I don't remember ever arguing over one. So it's just a load of bollocks.
I'm having to think about this one, and I'm going back to it again. This is people trying to justify their own jobs. I know where Ian's coming from. You do see sometimes where if a player gets fouled, the ball gets passed back towards the area where the foul committed, and a player might just put his studs on it, and the ball's moving slightly, and he plays the ball left or plays the ball right. The referee calls him back. There's actually nothing more annoying in the game because you're kind of going, look, it doesn't make a massive difference. But the argument you're going to have against that is that what happens if a guy gets taken down on the right wing? Okay, he gets taken down, the ball is slightly moving, and it just moves enough that a player can come onto it, hit it while it's rolling, and he has that space he needs just to put it into the box. And then there's all sorts of arguments. He wasn't taking the free from where it was committed, stuff like that. No, just put the ball down and play. But this rolling stuff could end up going all over the place. And I know what you were saying, Craig. Oh, Chelsea could bounce it. I'm presuming, again, because they're being so vague, I'm presuming the ball doesn't have to be stationary, but would have to be on the ground. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't take a free kick if someone passes the ball back. Can you volley it up in the air and then hit it?
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's really vague, and I could just see somebody exploiting it somehow.
They're vague for a reason. It's because somebody has been told you need to get something out there, and that's what they've put out.
Grizz, what's your take on this one?
I've got no take, man. They've covered it. Bollocks.
So I think then we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 4 of them now? Yeah, 1, 2, 5 of them, sorry. And I think the only one where we could make any argument for was the penalty for the handle of the ball on the goal line.
Yeah, that's fair.
The rest we're saying are all bollocks, yeah?
Well, even that, Ian decided to put his own rule into it where you get an option.
Oh yeah, and Gav's against double jeopardy.
Yeah, and Gav's totally against.
Yeah, you shouldn't be tried with the same crime twice.
Just going back.
Sounds like Gav speaking from experience, by the way.
Yeah.
Just going back a second, like, we think it's a room full of idiots coming up with mad crazy ideas. But I remember when Martinez was manager of Everton, and he spoke a couple of times about
Champions League.
Such a low percentage of goals are scored from corners. He didn't even want corners anymore. He said that I'd rather be able to dribble it from the corner flag. So it's not just coming from clowns, it's coming from people who've been in the game as well. So there must be some people who come up with it, you know what I mean? But
well, as Gav has said, Van Basten, I think Gav said earlier, Van Basten is behind some mad rule changes as well.
Van Basten is fucking crazy shit, though, isn't he?
The late
Yeah, but
Cruyff had some ideas as well, mad ones.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, Ian, you said Martinez didn't want corners anymore because the percentage of goals scored from corners, I'd rather dribble it from the corner flag. You can. Just send 2 players over. One touches it out of the quadrant, and the other guy goes dribbling with it. And he's a 10-yard start because the defenders have to be 10 yards away, hence the 2 little markers. 10 yards, one along the goal line, one along the sideline, to say that's how you have to be.
I'm just saying, it's maybe not as nutty people as we think that are coming up with the suggestions, because like if actual coaches and managers are coming up with it as well, it just shows that there's a lot of knobheads knocking about.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Right, lads, one more quick one just came into my head. Do you remember when the MLS started years ago? They'd done away with penalties at the end of a game, and they had this hockey style thing where a player starts on the halfway line with the ball and has to go 1-on-1 with the keeper. What do we think of that idea? So basically, Coutinho picks up the ball at the halfway line, instead of a penalty shootout. We get 5 of these each. He dribbles and he has to try and take it around the keeper or shoot past the keeper. Like a hockey style penalty.
That was done where there was, you had a 10-second limit, didn't you? You had to get from the halfway line towards the box, and you had 10 seconds to score.
Yeah. What do we think of that? What do we think of that instead of a penalty shootout?
I thought, I don't know really. Like, I found that more amusing than anything else when I seen it in America, because I just thought, yeah, them boys are trying, But no, like, a chap running through on goal, like, yeah, it's a bit of fun, but no, give me the penalties all day long. There's much more drama in it, in my opinion.
It is a horrible way to lose, though, a game, isn't it? Like, it's not really, well, it is based on skill to a degree, but it's a hard way to fucking lose.
It's a magnificent way to win, though, isn't it?
It is. Well, you being English, you wouldn't know much about that, to be fair.
No.
Istanbul, mate. Tell him Istanbul.
It's a fantastic way to win a game. It's the fairest way that I can think of to end a stalemate, unless you just carry on going. Do you know what I mean? And it's
the golden goal. Did they scrap that?
The game as a neutral with a few minutes to go, and you start looking at the clock thinking, oh, it's got to be penned, it's got to be penned. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I suppose this thing would be as exciting, really, wouldn't it, if you get 5 each? It's similar to a penalty.
But there was talk a few years ago of them trying to do away with penalties, and the way they were going to do it was they were going to start extra time and then start removing players off each team.
I remember that one, yeah.
You know, and it made no sense because what they wanted to do was basically bring it down to about 7 aside. And then you think back to Van Basten. Van Basten wanted to do away with offsides and everything. Like, I don't know,
why did they scrap the golden goal? Anybody know?
Because both teams just never went to look to score. You know, both teams were too afraid to score. You know, the kind of way. But then there was another one suggested where they done a penalty shootout before the game, and if it got to 90 minutes and then you went into extra time, yeah, you'd have your 30 minutes of extra time. But if it was level at the end, whoever won the penalty shootout at the start won the game.
That's a good. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Just sit on the edge of the area the whole game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, trust me. Google proposed rule changes in football, and you'll come across some mad stuff. And at the end of the day, the game was created in a certain way, and everyone for many years has watched it in this way. Okay, there's been the pass back rule. We've added in extra substitutions, different things like that. The goal line technology, I agree with. I think it's really good. But you need to knock this stuff on the head. You know what I mean? The game primarily is set around a certain amount of rules, and why they keep wanting to change is beyond me.
Right, lads, we've been running behind schedule. We got on really late, so we're just going to finish with a couple of questions from the folks on Twitter who sent them in to us. So this first one comes in from Marco Callisto, and what he wants to know is, what do you guys think of the video referee that's been used at the Confederations Cup, good or bad? Who wants to come in on that one first?
In theory, I like the idea. I haven't watched much of the games that they've been covering. But apparently, they're not doing a very good job of it. But long term, if they control that, then yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, it just means fewer mistakes, doesn't it? There's so much. I know people don't like to talk about it, but there's so much money in the game now. Like, if you're Hull last game of the season, like, you need a point or something, United score a goal which is 3 yards offside, it could cost you £100 million. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind it as long as they get on top of it. Maybe have I don't know, like only ex-referees doing it or players that help them, because that Varane thing the other day where he clipped them, there's just no common sense there. So I don't know if you're just adding an extra dickhead referee. Do you know what I mean?
I don't understand why there's 3 of the fuckers up in the studio looking at it, not just one.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, if you get on top of it, then yeah, I'm all for it. Like, I don't mind. It doesn't do rugby league any harm. You know what I mean? They still crack on, but you've got to be on top of it. Like,
Grizz, what's your take on this?
No, I'm all for it as well. But I'd insist, like Ian mentioned, I'd insist that the video ref is the next player. Like, instead, so I know the referees are sort of amateur, professional now, I think.
Oh yeah, FIFA referees would be pro, yeah.
Right, but the video ref guy, to stop shit like that Varane, right, happening, I mean, it will take time, but in the long run, there will be more correct than bad decisions, and that's what we want.
Did you see the Chile game, Grizz? Have you watched that one?
No, but I know you did.
Yeah, there was a couple of questionable decisions. They kind of evened themselves out. There was one that looked blatantly offside that was given as a goal, and there was one that looked onside that was given as offside. And the way they're doing it is they've got these purple lines that they're thrown across the pitch to kind of give you a view, but it doesn't seem to mark up with your eye line, which is really odd, and it's confusing the hell out of commentators and pundits, and it doesn't seem like they have it nailed down right. I wouldn't like it brought in just yet.
No, it would take time. It would take time, as Ian says. You've got to give it time to sort of iron out the mistakes, situations. But on the whole, eventually, you can definitely imagine more corrective only help. But it's got to be an ex-player. I'd insist that the video ref, the guy who's played the game.
Fair point. And Gav, what about yourself?
I haven't watched any of the Confederations Cup, so I haven't seen this video referee in action. What I would say is, though, I don't know whether it's kind of like any contentious decision, is it just going straight to a video referee, or is it a test of the referee calling for it?
That's what's made it confusing for me as well, Gav, because the occasions I've seen it used, one of them, the ref had given the goal and everything, and then all of a sudden, something came up on a big screen. They showed the replay of it, and it looked like it was slightly offside.
I just butt in for 1 second?
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why. Because, as you lot know, right, because I've bombarded you guys with the WhatsApp and my Twitter recently, Pakistan just won the ICC Champions Trophy.
And congratulations to them.
Thank you very much. And the thing is, right, Ian, you know, they get, like, each team, right, gets, what's it called now?
A review.
Review.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, challenges.
Challenge, yeah. So, Gav, something like that where you got a review a game. So because, you know, sometimes players know that's definitely offside or that's definitely handball and the refs missed it. So you can insist that's the review I want. Sometimes there's chances, right? They're going to think, we might get away with that. So they might not want to review that. Do you know what I mean?
I think the thing about reviews, though, is if it's proved correct, you keep your review, don't you?
Yeah, it's a bit like in tennis. Tennis, you have three reviews per set, and if you do get it correct, you keep it. And at the start of every set, then it goes. They redo it as three each and moving forward. But my thing about it would be, referees are very important in the game, and Ian's mentioned there's a lot of money involved in the game, but like human error happens, and it's all part of the game. But I think I agree with the lads. There should be one person reviewing this, and it can be done in split seconds. Look, a chap takes a shot in a game of football, and before the ball's gone past the post, they're showing you a replay of it. So it's not a slow thing, you know. But one lad doing it, I agree with. Whether it's an ex-ref or an ex-player, I'm not too bothered. Either or would do me. Uriah Rennie would be great at it. But like, I just think it should be the ref's call, and all this big screen stuff should be done away with. Like, I listened to an interview a while back with was it Graham? No, it wasn't Graham. It was the referee that played for United. What was his name? Howard Webb.
Howard Webb.
Yeah, him, and he was. I think it was Howard Webb. Yeah, it was, and he was actually discussing an incident with Suarez away at Arsenal, and he admitted on the interview that he got it wrong. You know, and he was saying at the time, I would have loved him to be able to, you know, come out afterwards and explain why I'd made the decision. But I just think if a ref sees something and in his mind it's not a penalty, that's fine. He's the referee. If he sees something and he's going, oh, not too sure. And the same with linesmen. You know, a ball goes through, a guy puts it in the goal and scores, and the linesman can easily just straight over the earpiece, I've put that onside, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Bang, straight away, let's check it and it's done.
Well,
you know,
but what you have happening then, I think, Gav, though, is that the linesman's barely ever putting his fucking flag up because he knows he's got that fallback.
Yeah, that's true enough. But I just think, like, at the start of this show, we've discussed condensing games into 60 minutes, right? Of actual play. Now, if you want that, if you try to do that along with every single decision going, once a team contests it, and if you think about it, if they have 3 contests each over a game where they can contest the decision, and that takes 2 or 3 minutes, that's another 18 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So how long is the game going to go on for?
That's another 36 ads, Gav.
Yeah, but you see, I'm not completely against it. I'm not completely against this video technology and you know, video referee. I'm not against it because it can be done really quickly. There's no doubt about that.
That's a yes from
I'm just afraid that every single decision, contest, in an order to slow down the game. I don't mind though if a ref looks at something and thinks, oh, I'm not sure, I want to check. It's like in rugby.
Surely you'd have to give a manager 1 though. If the ref can call it, surely a manager should be allowed 1.
Maybe so, but if you watch rugby, managers don't call anything, and players aren't allowed near the referee. If he sees something and he's not too sure, I need the video ref on that. Was the ball passed forward? Different things like that in rugby. And it can work in football, but I just think you have to let the referee and the video ref communicate between themselves to make this decision rather than players, managers, everybody piling in, you know?
Yeah, and no players surrounding the fucking referee either. That has to stop.
Well, you see, they did do a thing about this, Craig, a while ago. It might have been the start of last season or the season before that. You get too close to the ref and you're not the captain, it's a yellow card.
Yeah, they
And
should be.
I would have loved them to see on the first day of the season, you come near me, yellow, 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 and you would have knocked that on the head straight away. But they seem to come up with these ideas and then they kind of back off them as well, you know?
Right, we'll push on. Next question comes from Blaine Agard on Twitter again. And he said, what's the signing that you were most excited about at the time that it happened? So,
Oh, good question. Blaine, is it?
yeah, Blaine Agard. Excuse
Yeah,
me
good
if I
question.
pronounced that wrong, by the way.
Harry Q.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually.
When we got Harry Q, I thought he was on the verge of being world class. He'd just been brilliant for Leeds for a few years, hadn't he? And I was jumping up and down and going crazy, and he was just. I mean, he weren't the worst for Liverpool, but he was not nowhere near the player that he was when he was fucking playing with.
Injuries.
Yeah,
Does this have to be like a player that you're really excited about that didn't work out, or just a player that you're really excited about? Full stop.
The question just said the signing you're most excited about at the time it happened.
It's a great question.
Yeah, I thought it was a good question. All right.
Gav, but you haven't answered.
Yeah, that's because I'm thinking. I'll let you go next.
Right, go on, Grizz. Give us an answer.
Mine was Morientes. I mean, I was such a fan of when we signed him. I mean, I thought Morientes sort of just on Raul levels. I mean, that partnership of Raul was just amazing. I used to so enjoy just his movement, intelligence, everything about him. Just didn't quite work out for him, slight, very disappointing in the end for me. But Morientes was the one that was really excited. I thought, yeah, we've got a world star, because back in the day, but when we found him, he was definitely one of the top 5-6 strikers in the world. Fernando Morientes.
Another great shout. So far we've had Morientes and Harry Kewell, and they've been 2 smashing shouts. So Gav, you've a lot to live up to.
I have 2, but I'm going to have to choose.
Mark Waters.
No, no, it definitely wasn't Mark Walters. I remember going back. Dean Saunders, when we signed Dean Saunders, I thought he was great, and I thought he'd fit into Liverpool perfect. But I leave him to the side. I had to be Stan Collymore for me. Splashing 8.5 million or so on him, and he was at the turner up for Forest, and he was big, he was strong. He'd good off both feet, not great in the air, but there was something about him. He had an attitude about him that I thought really suited us. Especially with Fowler being around at the time, I thought they'd be perfect together, and they were great together for probably 2 seasons at a push. But yeah, probably Collymore. I think when we signed him, and it looked like we're Liverpool and we're out breaking transfer records. So yeah, probably be him.
Oh, mine is mine won't be Mohamed Salah.
No, but Gav.
Yeah.
What was Collymore's actual record like? It wasn't too shabby, was it?
He was quite good.
Yeah.
I thought he got around. No, I could be wrong. I thought he got around because I think he played. What was it? Was the summer of '94 he signed?
But now, Grizz, don't forget, this doesn't have to be a disappointing signing. Just someone that you really wanted. You were happy about when we signed.
I think Collymore. Look it up. I think 1 and 2, 1 and 3, maybe.
So was it more of a system? Do you think he didn't suit, or just was it attitude, or he just didn't settle?
I thought he was great with Fowler. I thought he was a great foil for Fowler because he was physical and he ran channels and he got wide and he got the ball in the box and he scored a few as well. But then he just went off the rails altogether, But when he signed for us, I just thought, yeah, he's perfect up front, because you had to remember Rush was at the back end of his career and we needed someone up there because Fowler was on fire, but he couldn't do it on his own. And then on his debut, he's curling one in. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm going to change my answer. I agree with you. I was so excited about it.
Yeah, it was just.
I thought he was the best striker around at the time.
Yeah, and then on his debut, like, he gets the ball and he bounces off 2 or 3 players and they can't get near him, and he just bends it with his left foot into the top corner. You're like, Jesus, this guy is unreal. But it went a bit sour then after about 18 months, 2 years, I think it was. But no, he's right up there for excitement when we were making a sign.
Cool. Right, we'll move on.
I met more once, and he was an absolute dickhead.
Yeah, he's known for that.
That wouldn't surprise us. Yeah.
He was when he was playing. It was when I was in university. He was playing for Villa, and he was off with that's when he was first off, with depression. And one of the lads I was in uni with was a massive Villa fan, and he was asking him, "Stan, when are you coming back? We really need you." And he was just dead rude to him. Do you know what I mean? No need for it or whatever. And the lad just turned around and went, "Oh, you're a dickhead." And Stan Collymore just ripped a £20 note up in his face. And he went, "Yeah, you do that. Swear to God, true story."
What an asshole.
Well, oh yeah, sorry, Craig, but Craig always slags me about a podcast I listen to called The Magic Sponge. And there's 2 episodes.
I know where you're going with this. I gotta sit back and enjoy this.
It's Jimmy Bullard who does this podcast with Rob Beckett and another guy. I can't remember his name, but the 3 of them are really good. But Tony Warner, the former Liverpool goalkeeper, does 2 podcasts with them, 2 episodes. And if you want to hear a really good story about Stan Collymore, I'm not going to tell you. Just go to the Magic Sponge, hit Tony Warner, and play those 2 episodes. And in amongst that, you'll find a brilliant, brilliant story about Stan Collymore.
Yeah, well, it won't disappoint. Trust me, listeners,
No.
It won't disappoint. Right, we'll push on to the very last question, and this one comes from Chris Balmer. And he wants to know, is there any logical way back for the Van Dijk transfer in this window? And I'll start this one off if you don't mind, and I think yes, 100%. There's every chance that it still happens in this window. And what gives me the most encouragement on that is how quiet it's been with other clubs muted to be interested in him. Seems to have gone very, very quiet. So that's my take on it anyway. Who wants to come in next?
Yeah, the Van Dijk thing, I have the same opinion since all this kind of mess happened, and to me it's still on. We've gone over the person within the club that leaked all this. He wants to join Liverpool stuff, and we've gone over the statement that Liverpool Football Club put out. But to me, like Craig said, it's gone very quiet since all that happened. You haven't heard of any other clubs, trying to steal a march on us and go in and offer big money. And only for one person opening their mouth, I think that transfer would have been done by now, to be perfectly honest. I presume that I would hope that there's some sort of negotiations going on in the background, and I don't think he'd be a Southampton player come the end of August, and I'd be pretty confident he'd be playing for Liverpool.
Excellent. Grizz, what do you think?
Go on, I'll let Ian go. I want to have the final word on it.
Okay, no problem. Ian?
Yeah, I still think there's a possibility, definitely. I also think it helps that Southampton are going to get a new manager. The new manager might just come in and go, you know what? Okay, sell him. I use the money to build my own squad. I think that it helps us as well. But like you say, no other club said a word. I dare say he's been sounded out by the clubs, and he's just said, no, 100%, maybe mind up, I know where I'm going. Yeah, I still think it's possible.
Now, Grizz, time for your last word.
Well, as you guys know, I'm the official in the canal for the Anfield Road Wolves. So I can tell you guys, there is definitely negotiation going on behind the scenes. Everything has gone hush, and everything's gone hush for a reason. Basically, LFC, the owner, Klopp, were obviously naturally livid, and has been total silence, but there's plenty of work going on behind the scenes. And most definitely, I'd give it a very high percentage chance that VVD ends up at the end of the season.
Very good. So there you have it. Grizz is the Anfield Road Wolves in the know, even though we're hugely against in the nose.
In the nose.
In the canal. I'm different.
Huge thanks to Ian, Grizz, and Gav for joining me this week. If there was any sound issues, please bear with us. Skype was offline tonight for some reason globally, and we had to go a different route, but we gave it our best shot, and hopefully it comes out okay. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you all soon. Good night.